Labyrinth is a massive event added to Escape from Tarkov on March 27th. This event brings a new map stuffed full of the best loot in the game, a decent bunch of new tasks that run the spectrum of difficulty, 2 achievements, 2 new kind of modified bosses, if you will, tons of new game mechanics, and an experience unlike anything we've ever had in Tarkov. This video is going to be a comprehensive guide on not just the new map Labyrinth, but also the quests done inside the map, the AI that you're going to fight, the loot you're going to find, and a handful of tips and tricks to help you survive your raids in your trips down into the maze. I've already done one video that covers the initial task required to get you into the Labyrinth, and it unlocks access. That's how you unlock access to it. This video is kind of a follow-on with that, and it's designed to pick up where that one left off and dive into more detail about the map itself. Now, to access the Labyrinth, you need a Gnosis key, which can be found in a few places on Resort, as well as Labyrinth key cards, which can be acquired as rewards or unlocks through the initial tasks. Again, this whole bit is explained in detail in my video before this. Now, while you only need one Gnosis key in a group, every player in the party will need to have their own Labyrinth key card, just like Labs. If someone in your party doesn't have a key card, it will let you start the transit, but you won't actually hop out of the map until the person without a key card either dies or extracts from the raid. So when you go into raid, always double check in your group that everybody's got a card. Now from here, it works like transits on all other maps. You will exit Shoreline, you will load into a map queue for the next map, which is Labyrinth, and players do not spawn late or anything like that. Everybody spawns at the same time at the start of the map. 5 players, if the map is full, show up at the same time in their own respective puzzle rooms. If you are in a squad, you don't spawn together. You are split up and it puts you in your own spawn. So yes, this means if you go in as a 5-man, you can fill the Labyrinth and have no other competition from players because there are only 5 player spawns on the map. Now we'll go through each of the 5 puzzle rooms so you know how to get out of them. And honestly, that's the easy part. After you're out of your room, the real chaos begins. But before we do that, real quick, let's go over some suggested gear for going down there and do the obligatory reminder to like and comment on the video, as well as subscribe if you aren't already. I promise if you like this video, you will have a much easier time in the Labyrinth than if you don't like the video. It's science, you can't argue with it. Now, like we said before, obviously you need a Gnosis key and a Labyrinth key card to get down there. But it's also a really good idea to bring a few other items with you, starting with at least 2 XTG-12s or Perfotorin / Blue Blood stims. These are the only 2 items in the game that can cure the unknown toxin, which will kill you pretty quickly if you don't have one of these stims. And unfortunately, there are several ways to end up with this toxin down in the Labyrinth, and more than once. Next up is having a multi-tool in your special slot. This makes disarming the tripwires scattered around the map take just a few seconds versus the 12 seconds without it. And since that slot probably won't be being used up by much, it's a great thing to have down there. Now, as far as ammo, you're going to want lots of high pen ammo. If you get swamped when you're fighting some of the AI down here and you're swapping mags, you're going to get into trouble. And since both bosses have class 6 head protection, you're going to want something that can get through that pretty quickly. So think level 55 penetration or higher. After that, food and water. Sometimes you can get hung up down there, and the last thing you want to do is being stressed out over your hydration or energy being out when you're trying to just struggle to get around and survive the maze by itself. Now, let's talk the puzzle rooms. This is your first hurdle to even get into the Labyrinth. We'll go through them one by one. Okay, this puzzle room is room number 1, Toxic Puddle. As you can see from the toxic puddle down there. Again, green goo bad. Don't go touch green goo. Green goo kill you. Green goo bad. Green goo bad. This one is probably one of the more difficult and complex rooms to get through, so keep that in mind. It's going to take, unless you get really lucky, it's going to take you a minute to get through this one. Like some of the others, it's 2-step. Find a key, unlock a door, turn a switch, jump over the puddle. So let's go to the first spot. It's going to be forward into the room on the right. You're going to go right in here. Once in here, it's going to be on these pipes. It's going to be right on here, if it's here. Now we'll go to the next room, come over, make a right, and you're going to look right on the shovel. Make sure that's going to be your spot. From this room, you're going to go to the very next one, the third room. And you're going to go to the ladder, and you're going to look right onto this second from the top rung. That's where it'll be. Now we're going to loop around back to the bigger room. You're going to come back. Again, don't take a right into green goo bad. And you're going to come into this little boiler room, and you're going to look right here. And if it's not here, next up, you're going to go over to these sets of pipes. And just like the other one, it's going to be on the second pipe right about there. Now, if it's not there, you're going to go into your very last room. Oh, this spawn here too as well. There can be a spawn right there. And then we got to go into the last room, which is here. And you're going to look right on this propane tank and make sure it's not right there. Boom. There you go. Now you got the key. Now you're going to come over and you're going to unlock the door. Simple, straightforward, and easy. Door unlocks. And inside, you're going to press a button. You're going to hear all the noises go. You can go watch it if you want. And you'll see the toxic goo gets drained. But that's still poison. That's why this is one of the fun rooms, because you're not safe. You still got to make the jump. So from here, and man, if I screw this up, I think we'll actually keep it in the bloopers, or in the thing as a blooper. But you can make a run for it, and you jump, and you're good. And you survived. And that's the room. Up here, through your door, and you are now in the labyrinth. Okay, so quick little change here, because I didn't even realize this because I was just copying everybody either. But in the toxic room, you know, everybody's like, well, you got to jump over and you make it and you're yay. It doesn't matter. You can stand here and you're fine. Nothing happens to you. Nothing hurts you. So once you drain the toxic pool, you can just walk across. You don't have to worry about making the jump or anything like that. Okay, so this one we're in room number 2, which is also known as the steam room. It requires key number 2. This is a 2-step puzzle room, if you will. The first thing is to find a key, and the second thing is to find a hand wheel. This steam is deadly. It doesn't matter if you have a gas mask on or you try to run through it. It will kill you. You have to turn it off. So there's a couple of locations to check. It's pretty quick and easy. The first one is going to be in this bucket right here, right where my laser is. The key will be there. The second one is on this box, which is where it is here. I'll grab it real quick. You can see it's in the box. The next is on this red box right here. And then the last location is kind of a tough one. It is on this beam, this little beam sticking out of the rubble. It's going to be right where my laser is. It'll be sitting right there. Now, earlier, this key was kind of in the rubble and hard to see. They moved it, thankfully, after the first day, so it's a little bit easier to find. Now, once you get your key, you go for the door, and you unlock your door. Excuse my hiccup, sorry. And then you're going to go up. You're fine in here. Nothing can hurt you. There's going to be loot, but this is where you're going to go, and then you're going to look for the hand wheel. In this instance, it's right there. That's what it looks like. So that's one spawn, obviously. I'll grab it. It can also spawn down here on the end in the corner, right where my laser is. From here, the next place is to jump up on your little shelf. It can be right on this shelf right here. Now, also from here, it can be on the other side right there. And then the last spot to look will be there. Now, keep in mind, these spots are as of now. BSG does have a tendency to change these things from time to time or move things around. So if you're not finding it, it didn't bug out, it didn't spawn, it's just sitting somewhere else. So go looking for it. Now, once you have your hand wheel, you'll just run back downstairs real quick. And you come up to this spot and you put your hand wheel on. And boom, your steam is off. And that's it. That's all it takes to get out. Okay, so this is room 3, or the fire hazard. I actually made a mistake and already went through here and forgot to hit record. So you can't see the smoke that was here yet. When we go forward a little bit, you'll see it. I actually caught the recording, but I'll show you the key locations. There are 4 key locations. The first one is going to be on the candles right about here. That will be your first one. The second one is sticking out of his hand. So you'll see it sticking through his fingers right there. And then spawns 3 and 4 are all the way down. I've already got this door open here. Let me shut this door so that it adds to the effect, because that's the door that's closed. The third one is right here sticking out of this beer bottle. And the fourth one is in the trash bag. That'll unlock this door. And then this is where I actually remember to record. So we'll go from here. There are 5 spawns for the torch in here. The first one is right here in this bucket. It will be 1 spawn. The second spawn is going to be here in the elevator, right on the stairwell right there. Be careful. I think you can actually fall down that. I haven't really fully tested it, but it could happen. And then the next 3 are going to be through the room here. I haven't seen this one myself yet, but I guess there's a spawn right there. I haven't had that one yet myself, but I have had the one that's between the boxes. There's one right here. You see this beams fallen over on the boxes. It's right between those. And the last one's all the way down on the end, and it should be where it is, right here where the scale is. And there is your BBQ torch. If you haven't seen it yet, it's the BBQ S43. Little gas torch. And then you run all the way back out where you started, and you're going to cut the lock off this door right here, and the door opens. Go inside, go to your right, and on this panel you hit a button, and your little gas cloud, which they call the fire hazard, turns off, and now you're out into the labyrinth. Easy as that. Okay, so if you spawn in and you're seeing a red metal tunnel like this, you are in room number 4, which is the shotgun trap. This one is the one I think gets people killed the most, because there's no like smoke or any scary stuff here to warn you. There is just these double barrel shotguns strapped to the roof, Rust style, that will absolutely obliterate you if you try to walk through there. So don't do that till you turn this off. This is a 2-step puzzle room. Find a key, unlock a door, flip a switch. So let me go back to the start here, and I will show you where to go. All right, no special room here. Right out the gate, you're going to run up, and these 2 beer bottles. There can potentially be one in this one on the ground. That's one spawn. The second spawn is in this beer bottle. Oh, my laser goes through the beer bottle. Sticking out of this beer bottle. This guy right here. It'll be sticking right out of the top of that. And then next up, you're going to look right on the scale. I'll turn off my flashlight because it's blinding. It'll be right here on the scale. Sometimes there's a toolbox here. Dynamic loot and all. But yeah, right there on the scale. From here, you're going to go look on the pallet, which is where it is right now for this offline raid. Pallet right there. Next up can be, I'll turn a light on. It can be on the ground right here in the corner. And then after that, it can be sitting right on this barrel. But those are all your spots. This is your locked door. Unlock this. Stay away from the shotgun traps. And then you got a little navigation to do. Come in your room. You can loot. That door doesn't do anything. Come in through here and then crawl your happy ass under the hole. You're going to come around, and there's a switch on the other side. Sometimes there's a jacket in here, but you throw that and boot your door open. If you want, you can crawl around if you don't want to make noise. And then the shotgun traps, they don't hurt you. Bit of safety. Don't ever look down the barrel of a gun. It's not good. Don't do that. But now you're out into the labyrinth. And you're looking at this. This is spawn room 5, or the toxic puddle. It gets that name because of the toxic puddle. Do not touch green goo. Green goo bad. Green goo kill you. Green goo bad. Green goo bad. Well, I mean, if you have a poison, the XTG will cure, or Perform will cure you from the green goo, but you have to burn a stem to do that, and you don't want to do that. So just stay away from it. The goal here is essentially to cut the lock off of this little door. So to do that, you need to find a torch. Now, all of the spawns are in another room. So this is the room where your door is, right? We spawned right here, where this is where we spawned. You're going to go down almost to the puddle. You're going to turn right. And this is going to be where all of your spawns are, at least currently. The first spawn is going to be in the rubble right here to your right. Pretty much like right in this spot right here. The second spawn is going to be just down the way. And it's going to be right here next to this, between this wood beam and this metal plate. Kind of like where that beam is going to be your second spawn. Third spawn is going to be over here with these barrels. It's going to be right here inside on the underneath side. And then your fourth spawn is going to be over in the rubble pile, pretty much like right here in this vicinity. And then the fifth and final spawn is right out in the open, but it's kind of hidden a little bit because it kind of blends in. But it's right here in this little bucket where we've got it. And that's it. You've got your torch, the BBQ S43, and we're going to go cut our lock off. So we'll run over there real quick. Short and simple, quick little animation. It can startle you the first time you hear it because it's a new sound in Tarkov. But you hit your torch and lock falls off. Open your door. And what we're going to do, and I'll just show you guys specifically what this is doing because you might want to see it. The puddle has this little grate here with a motor. And the switch we're going to turn is going to turn the motor on and make the little grate go down and give us a ladder to go over. So we'll go down run in here and you're sweet. If you follow the cable, it leads it to you. You know, if you had been into the clue side of this and not watching a guide, you can see this cable kind of tells you where you're supposed to go if you had followed that. But nonetheless, here is our grate down, pop up and over, and you are in the labyrinth. That's straightforward for spawn number 5, the toxic puddle. All right, so once you've worked out your puzzle room and you're in the main area of the labyrinth, you have a few things to worry about right out the gate. The first is the shadow of Tagilla and his guards. As far as the guards are concerned, there's usually 6 of them, but we have seen more before. And most of the time when you shoot the first one, the rest of them come running at you like some crazed scavs trying out to be the next Killa. They sprint, they slide, they shoot, they crouch. They're a pain to deal with, but they're not impossible. And while they might be easy to put down, they usually don't have good armor or ammo. They are relentless and will just pepper you into non-existence if you don't deal with them quickly. Once you get them killed, you do want to eventually loot them though, because they can have anything from good keys, grenades that are useful, food, some of the stims, the XTG-12s, things like that, that are kind of increase your survivability chance while you're down there. But just like labs, it's usually best to save the looting till after you've cleared the map. You don't want to be down in inventory, get shot in the side of the head by another player or one of the bosses. Now, with this is Shadow of Tagilla. He's beefed up version of Tagilla, basically. We don't know much how much HP he has as of making this video, but I'm almost positive he has more than regular Tagilla. And regular Tagilla has 100 head health and 320 thorax health with a total pool of 1220. So if Shadow of Tagilla has more, just think about how that number starts to grow pretty quickly. Shadow of Tagilla has the same armor, the body armor, as regular Tagilla, you know, the class 6 front plate and the level 4 back plate. But his unique helmet to this is a completely different story. It is a class 6 helmet with full coverage of every head hitbox. So unlike Tagilla's face shield, where the back of his head is basically open, this one has no openings, and it's 100 durability. So it is difficult to get through unless you're shooting ammo, like I said, 55 pen and above. I've watched tons of clips of people with M4s and 855A1, or even like BS in 545, not get him down, dumping into his head, because it's not fast enough at killing him. Now, for me, the best luck I've had with killing him is using either an MDR or a SCAR, both with 7.62, of course, and at least M61. You can get him down with other guns, but you have to be super quick with your peeks and be able to fall back. Also, keep in mind, he will switch to melee as well with his Labyrinth, which is kind of like a sledgehammer on factory, and it can one-hit you if it hits you and you're just right. But even if it doesn't one-hit you, I don't know that I've seen anybody get hit by it and really survive a second hit, or even be able to gather themselves enough. So you're probably not going to survive a second or third hit, even if he doesn't kill you with the first one. Now, if you've made it this far, you've got Shadow of Tagilla down, you have another immediate worry to deal with. Vengeful Killa has a 55% spawn chance, but it doesn't spawn with he doesn't spawn with Shadow of Tagilla. Vengeful Killa spawns when you kill Tagilla and rushes from wherever he spawns at to where Tagilla died. So you barely have enough time to get a reload off, let alone heal yourself or do anything like that to expect Killa. So when you put Tagilla down, reload and be ready to fight Killa coming at you. Now, at this point, if you're still alive, the only thing left to worry about is players. Easy, right? And that's for a few minutes, because more guards will spawn. And they do it periodically throughout. There isn't any real consistent measure to it. I've run probably 20 Labyrinth raids. I've been down into the Labyrinth probably 20 times now. And keeping track of the scav spawns and going back and looking at VODs and stuff, there's no like time limit. There's nothing. Sometimes we've seen 3 of them spawn. Sometimes 6 of them spawn. They spawn sometimes in groups. 2 groups will spawn different times. Sometimes they'll spawn like 2 minutes after the first fight. Sometimes they won't spawn for 10 minutes. It just depends. We've seen usually about 3 groups, but I want to say there's been a couple of times with 4 groups down there. So again, even after you've cleared everything else out and you feel safe, you've got to keep on your toes and keep alert, because they will spawn right next to you and kill you very quickly, which is so frustrating to be right next to extract with a bag full of loot and then fall over dead to one of these things. Which leads to, how do you extract? And there are 2 ways out of here besides dying. First one is through the way up, its own extract, but this doesn't open until 25 minutes have passed in the raid. So that's, 15 minutes have passed in the raid, which is 25 minutes on your raid timer. You'll hear it open up too. There's a sliding metal sound with a thud. It's located right next to the nuke EMP room in a small hallway. Basically, it's behind the whiteboard if you're looking in the nuke room. But if you don't want to extract, be very careful. The timer on this is only like 3 or 4 seconds, and I've seen several people extract here on accident before they were ready, in the middle of a fight or when they were sorting through loot. I've even watched one streamer exit because he threw his backpack down to move stuff around, didn't realize he was in the extract, and extracted without his backpack. The other way out is through Arion's Path, but this requires a key. Now, the key is pretty common. Both Killa and Tagilla usually have it, but I've seen it several times on the guards themselves in their pockets. So it's pretty frequent. And it doesn't do you really any good to pick up 3 or 4 of them because the key can't be extracted with. It's kind of like the notes that you need for the secret extracts. Once you extract, it uses the key to extract, but it also gets rid of all the keys in your inventory once you do leave the map. Now, this extract is located between chambers 2 and 5 near the torture room. Now, in spite of this, there are still plenty of hazards around on the map. The entire thing is littered with floor spikes and razor wire that if you step on them, they will damage you and poison you. And this is why you want to bring the extra XTGs 12s with you, as well as pick them ones you find up on the AI. There are also spike pits, and it should go without saying, but yes, they will kill you if you fall into one. You can jump over them though, so just be quick on your feet and pay attention to where you step. There are covered spike pits, with grading on them. Those do not collapse on you. I was really wary about it first, but I tested it in my offline raids. You can run around on them just fine. They don't do anything. And then one other thing to note is the alarm. Loud blaring alarm that puts even the reserve one to shame. It's triggered when a player enters this highlighted area here, but it can be shut off with any one of the 5 buttons for the alarm. These buttons are here, the 5 of them shown on this map from Reamer, the one we've been using this whole time. And you can even pre-turn off the alarm. If you hit one of these buttons before you go into the area, it won't ever set the alarm off. Now, as far as loot is concerned, outside of quest items and the corpse key, the loot is just everywhere. Just walk around, check on top of boxes, barrels, any object you can see. It's simply just laying everywhere. There's not much reason to do a specific loot guide other than for a couple of items because it's just everywhere. The nuke room does have a concentrated center of loot that is only outdone by the corpse key room. So if you can get into the nuke room quickly, get in there, you're going to find most of the really good loot there. But let's talk about the corpse key because it's definitely something you want to find. And the loot in there is basically the map's mark room, though it's far better than any other mark room in the game. In fact, it's better than probably 2 or 3 mark rooms combined. The key has 6 fixed spawns, but it can also spawn on Shadow of Tagilla. So if it's not on the map, check his pocket. I've also seen it on the guards, but I'm told that is because they looted it. It's not because it spawned on them. This key also can't be put into your secure container. So even if another player finds it, unless they do the dickhead thing about throwing it in a corner or something, it's going to be on their body somewhere because they can't put it in their secure container. Along with this, the key will also disappear when you extract with it, so you can't find it in a raid, save it, and then bring it back later. Here is a quick walkthrough of all 6 locations, showing it to you so that you can find it though. So the first one is going to be from the green circle. You're going to go right for the tractor, and it's going to be on the passenger side, or the driver's left foot, if you will. Right here, you'll see the corpse key. The second spawn is right off the nose of the tractor. You come through in here and come and look on this box, this bloody box. It'll be right there. The third spawn is going to be double and back, and I guess I could have made this the first spawn, but whatever. The next one I'm going to show you is going to be over here at the green circle again, and it's going to be right here on this green tank. Now from here, you're going to go down 2 doors. 2 doors, second one on your right here. Go over this thing, don't fall in the pit, and it's going to be right here on your left. Should be sitting roughly on this corner of the box, right about there. Now the 6th one is going to be back out this door. Go around your little crate here and your cage thing, and you're going to go right for these boxes. And then it should be sitting right here on this corner right there. Better without the light on. It is. That corner right there. And then the last and final spawn is going to be, you're the box, turn left and go back the way you're going, right into this next room. And it'll be on these boxes right here. And then that is all of your corpse key spawns. I'll run back over that way real quick and we'll go take a look in the corpse room and just see what we got on this offline raid, just so that you can see what's in there. Pretty simple to get back over there. Come off the green, go to the left. And this is the corpse room right here. Pretty straightforward and simple. It's going to be the bottom left corner of the map if you're looking at Reamer's map, which you should be because that's what we're going to be using. Open it up. And I won't loot anything, but I'll show you all the loots that we get in this one. There's a VPX, which I've gotten a dog tag case there. I've got a dog tag case up here. There's a key card holder, a water bottle, best thing in the room, another VPX. There can be stuff back here in the corner. There's a stim hiding. You want to really look careful. See, there's a vertex that was hidden. Bakizi book, some ammo, more junk, things like that. Go looking around and see what else we see in here. That's pretty much it. You're going to want to crawl through every inch of this, though, once you do get in here, just to make sure you get all the loot, because there can be quite a bit. Good little room. If you're able to lock the whole place down and get it done, or maybe you can sneak the key and get over here without anybody else ever knowing, could be a good loot to get there and get out. Now let's cover a few of the quests down here. The first one of these is the tape sucks. This tape sucks. It's a therapist task, and it requires you to find a torture room and a VHS tape. For those of you that don't know what a VHS tape is, Google it. Don't call me old. Okay, so for this tape sucks. This one's a little bit rough, because it does suck. It's kind of hard to find. I think this is all the spawns. I have not seen another one yet, but there might be more. But I'm hopeful these are the spawns that you're going to need. So the first thing you have to do is go to the torture room. I'm going to give you a reference from the nuke room in the green circle. That's where we're at, right by the tractor. You're going to come and go to this archway. You'll see a green arrow. You're going to go against it. There's a dead body right here. Sometimes this body's not always here, but this is one of the spawns that'll be sitting right in his hand. You're looking for a VHS tape. It kind of looks like the streamer item on the Terminator tape, but it'll be right there in his hand. The second spawn is the one that is actually is in the raid for me right now, and I can show it to you, is right there underneath the door. This is the room. So you're going to come to this room for part of the task. I guess I should have done that first, but I wanted to show you the tapes. So that is the first part of the task, and this is the second part, is to get this tape. Pick that up. The other spawn, third one, is going to be on this ledge right here. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it's this ledge. And then the last spawn is a bloody table. So we're going to backtrack again, go past the first guy we did. You're just going to go down to the door right here, and it'll be on this table. Again, not sure exactly where it is. I didn't see a clip of it, but I know it spawns on this table too. Those are the spawns that I know about now. If more are added, if you're having trouble and they're not showing up, check the wiki. They should show up there. But once you have that, you got to extract and then hand it into therapist, and this tape sucks is complete. Next up is confidential info. You have to find a quest item that looks a lot like a VPX, as well as plant a grenade in a nuclear device, which sounds super safe. Okay, so for confidential info, you have 5 spawns to check, and you can check them real quick. They're all in this room. We're in the center room here where the nuke is, obviously. And so you can just run by real quick. What you're looking for is essentially looks like a VPX, but it's a quest item, so it'll always be there. The first place it can be is right here on the table. Second place is going to be up here, leaned up against this thingy-majig. From there, you're going to want to look right here underneath the tail section of this bomb. And then over on this toolbox right here is another spot one can be. And then the last one's actually back over here. I went by it. It's on the table right here, right where my laser pointer is, next to that. And so that's it. It's 5 spots real quick. You can check those. You got to get it and get out with it, though, so you can turn it back in. After you're done with that, you're going to come up to this side of this thing in the middle, and you've got to plant a grenade right here. So make sure you bring one. Sometimes you're lucky and you can find one like this right here, but it's a long plant. So you're going to do it. You're exposed over here to players from this side or anything walking around. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to do this task. Now, as far as hypothesis testing goes, you need to find 5 Labyrinth research notes. These can be scattered around the entire map, but most of them that we have found have been in the little nuke EMP room. They can be kind of sneakily hidden under some kind of the boxes or near the paper and be kind of difficult to see. There's even one that spawns inside the nuke itself. So just look carefully and make sure you don't overlook them. They can also show up in your scav case. Lots of people have been getting them out of doing like the 95K and the intel runs. So they will show up there as well. Now, there are 2 other quests down here: Vacate the Premises and Indisputable Authority. But I hope you don't need guides for these. They're pretty straightforward. They're kill tasks and it tells you what to kill. Vacate the Premises requires you to kill 24 PMCs in the Labyrinth, and Indisputable Authority is to kill Shadow of Tagilla and 6 of his guards. One thing to note though is if you're doing this on PvE, you don't have to kill PMCs down there because they don't spawn down there. What you do have to do is kill 36 targets in the Labyrinth altogether, and then it completes the quest for you on PvE. Now, once you complete all 5 of these tasks, as well as all the previous tasks I talked about in my other video, you will earn the achievement Dungeon Master. This achievement will also unlock the Minotaur's Lair hideout floor, wall, and ceiling styles for your hideout. Now, there is an additional Labyrinth achievement as well called the Search of an Exit. This one requires you to have Lightkeeper though to complete. He gives you the task for it. And simply enough, it's pretty straightforward to do. You have to stash a cultist knife in 3 locations. There are 2 shrines in the map on basically the north and south side. You have to plant a knife at each of those, as well as a 3rd knife inside the corpse room. Now, if you don't have Lightkeeper, you're not completely out of luck, because as part of this event, BSG is granting access to the Lightkeeper task line via the Labyrinth tasks. Once you get the first achievement, the Dungeon Master one, you will be given access to the quest line that allows you to visit Lightkeeper, which in turn will give you access to the 2nd achievement. But that is all I have for you. I really do hope this video helped you out in your adventures into the Labyrinth. I have really enjoyed the event myself. It's been a ton of fun. It's been a blast experiencing it and learning everything about it so I could share it with you guys. If you did get something out of it, I do ask, please leave a like and subscribe, because if you like this kind of content, we'll have more. And a comment left behind as well helps out a ton too. But with that, we'll wrap her up. Thank you again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your raids, and we'll see you in Tarkov.